Hello everyone. I haven't done this live on YouTube before, so I am still figuring it out. But welcome. Thank you for joining. If you're here, please comment so I can see that you're here and say hi and thank you for joining me. I'm just going to talk a little bit about Norwex, but first what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a couple of demonstrations ready. So while I'm doing that, we'll just see if anybody's going to hop on. So I'm going to be drawing on this with a permanent marker here to set up one of the demonstrations, which I just realized I have a whole bunch on there already. Somebody drew them more than me, so I don't even have to do that part. So if you don't know much about Norwex, or you've been watching me post things about Norwex and you're kind of just wondering to learn a little bit more, that's what I'm going to be talking about. And I'm going to talk about a few things that are going to help you get rid of those chemicals in your home. So I'd really like to help you do that because it's going to make you feel better. It's going to be healthier for you and your family, and plus it's going to help your budget because you're not going to have to keep buying those again and again and again. So the products I'm going to show you tonight are going to help you get rid of that. So this is how you browser order, norwex.com/Kristen Osberg. Thank you for being here, and I will put this up again later, but I'm going to take it away for now so that you can see what I am doing. Okay, so one of the flagship items for Norwex is called the EnviroCloth, and I have mine here, and I have pre-wet it, and I have squeezed it out so that it's damp because that's how it works best. And I'm gonna show you a few things that are awesome about the EnviroCloth, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it first. It is woven with fibers that are 1/200th the size of a human hair, which is crazy because that's like 200 split ends on your hair. So it's very, very tiny fibers. That's why it's called microfiber, right? So one of these cloths has 1,800 miles worth of that microfiber, and so it's gonna really, really have a lot of grabbing power and pick things up and hold it. And I'm gonna show you how it does that. The other thing that it has in here is micro silver that is woven in, and so that helps when you are done using it. You hang it up to dry after you've rinsed it out, and that helps it purify itself. So it helps inhibit the bacteria from growing. And if you're not sure about that claim, then look up silver. Silver is woven into athletic clothes, all kinds of things, so that it can help prevent bacteria from growing in those items so that they don't smell and get stinky like some of your rags do and that kind of stuff. So that is what will happen as this dries after you rinse it out. So I'm going to show you a couple of things about that. First thing I'm going to show you is I've got this cute little cutting board. Norwex has cutting boards, did you know that? So this is made from recycled rice husks. That's so cool. So there's 3 different sizes. This is the mini, and that's what I'm going to use to show you what is called the chicken demo. So I'm going to get out my raw chicken now. Here's my raw chicken. Super disgusting, right? Nobody's like, yes, can I please play with raw chicken? I would like to make raw chicken and make dinner with raw chicken. So you can see it's nice and juicy, and I've cut it up so that it's small and ready to use for this demonstration. So here we've got our gross raw chicken piece. Okay, so I'm just going to rub this on here. Actually, I'm just going to set it there for a minute. I'm going to first talk about how many of you have used, and you know who you are, if you've used the disinfecting wipes, which I've done before I knew about Norwex and knew better. So disinfecting wipes, I used to think you just wipe it off and it's disinfected, right? So you're done. Not true. First of all, you need to read the directions. Did you know there's directions? There's also warnings on these packages, so check those as well. Versus the EnviroCloth, here's a new EnviroCloth. No warnings to be found because it's not dangerous. It's helpful, safe, and clean. Okay, so if you're going to use disinfecting wipes, which you shouldn't, but if you do, make sure you're reading the directions and also don't use them. So if you are trying to disinfect something, you are supposed to, according to these directions, and it varies on the disinfecting wipes, but please read the directions, because when I first heard that there was directions, I looked it up and I was like, oh, there are directions, and I haven't been doing it right. I've just been wiping and assuming it's clean. It's not, and that's not how it works. So you're supposed to wipe the surface using enough wipes for the treated surface to remain visibly wet for 5 minutes. So I think they're probably anywhere from 3 to 10 minutes for that direction. So you're using a whole bunch of wipes, first of all, and then you let the surface air dry. So then you let all these chemicals that were in these wipes dry on your surface and just stay there. And before you use it to do anything, or put food on it, you're supposed to rinse it to clean it, right? So why do that? Like, you're just killing it. It's like killing weeds versus pulling weeds. If you pull the weeds, you get rid of them. And that's what we're gonna do with the EnviroCloth. We're gonna pull the bacteria and get rid of it versus just killing it and then leaving the chemical and everything on the surface, okay? So I've got my chicken. I'm going to show you how well these tiny little microfibers are going to pick up the bacteria from the surface, okay? So here we are. Got our chicken, really gross. You can see the wet spot. I'm going to be, for this demonstration, I'm going to use what is called the ProClean swab. So this is like the swabs that they would use if they were testing a restaurant and that kind of stuff. This tests for the proteins. Proteins are the tiniest and the stickiest. So if we get the proteins, we're getting everything. So that's what we're going to use. On here, you can see that, yep, that's the right way. Okay. You can see that the green is a check mark. We're good to go if it's green. If it's gray, pink, or purple, we're not good to go, okay? So, and the swab is in here, and I will swab this in a moment. So, we've got our disgusting chicken. You can see that gross wet spot. I'm just gonna put the chicken back on the plate for a second. And I'm going to use my EnviroCloth. I'm going to use as much surface area as possible. So I like to fold it because they're big. So I like to fold it, and I'm going to just wipe this up like you would be wiping your counter, right? So I'm wiping my counter. There we go. You can see that there is no more chicken spot. I'm just gonna set this chicken side up. I'm gonna get out my swab. You can see the swab. Just gonna swab the surface. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna mix in the indicator that will tell me if it's good or not. I forgot to grab something white. We'll just use this. Okay, it is green. So we're good to go. We got all the proteins, we got all the sticky, we got everything. So that is a clean surface. So now, since this is green, I'm gonna use it again. And what I'm gonna do, remember I set this chicken side up, I'm just gonna wipe the surface again. Okay, and now, so this is like you went to clean a different part of the kitchen. Just gonna swab it, put it back in here. Okay, we're still green. So we didn't transfer to the surface. Those tiny little microfibers picked it up so good that it held it into the cloth. So now I'm going to swab the chicken just to show you what happens. Okay, so if I swab the chicken, I'm just gonna roll it right on the chicken. Okay, you can already see that this is purple. Stick it back in here, shake it a little bit. Purple, gray. Okay, so yeah, no parlor tricks here. That's just what Norwex does. It's amazing. So then you're like, okay, so what happens to the chicken juice that's in the cloth? You're gonna take it over to your sink. You're gonna use warm water. You're gonna rinse it out under the sink, and you're gonna rub it against itself to open up those fibers that will release the chicken juice. And then you're going to squeeze it out as hard as you can, because you want it to dry as fast as it can. And also, when you're using this, you want to squeeze it out because you want it to have as much friction to pick up chicken juice and whatever else it is that you're cleaning up off of your counter, so that it gets clean, right? So you're going to squeeze it out as much as you can, and then you're going to hang it by the tag. That's what I do. And it will, as it dries, it will inhibit the bacterial growth with that microsilver, and you'll be able to use it again the next day. as long as you rinsed it out really well and rubbed it against itself under the water so that you can keep it clean. But I mean, okay, how much chemical did you use to do this? None. You used water and a cloth, which is amazing. Okay, so that's the chicken demo. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Next thing we're gonna do is we're going to introduce another player, but we're also still going to use the EnviroCloth. So EnviroCloth has a friend named the window cloth. So this is what the window cloth looks like. It's a little bit smoother weave, and I use the window cloth dry. So you want to use the EnviroCloth damp and the window cloth dry. I've got the Norwex Body Balm, which by the way is amazing, but it will make a mess if you put it on a mirror or a window. Okay, so you've got lots of mess on there. And so this mess represents, like at my house, I have a lot of dog art on the windows. Might be sticky kid hands, whatever it is that's on your windows or your mirrors or your stovetop, all the kinds of things, all the places that get this kind of a mess. So I've got that. I'm going to use the EnviroCloth. I folded it to a different side because I've already used it for the chicken. So then if we're cleaning multiple things and we need to have a new side, you can fold it to a new side. Okay, so then I'm just going to use the EnviroCloth and pick up all of that body balm off of there. Okay, and then I'm going to use my dry window cloth and I'm going to shine it to a streak-free shine. Okay, so I did not just use, you did not see me use a bazillion paper towels. You didn't see me use a whole bunch of spray. See, look how nice that is. It was just water and cloth, super easy, okay? So, EnviroCloth and window cloth are two things that are going to help you get rid of a lot of the chemicals in your home. Let's move on to the next thing. We also have this awesome thing called the dusting mitt. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I have allergies pretty much all the time, it seems like. And the dust and pollen and that kind of stuff this time of year, you want to just get it out of your house. So rather than using a spray that you then wipe off, so you've got a spray that isn't very good for you to be breathing anyway, and then you wipe things off, and then you have this terrible chemical smell, and then that also attracts more dust, so you've got more dust. So instead of all of that, leaving all the dust in your house, let's remove the dust. So this is the dusting mitt. I like to use two at once, it's really fun. But you just need to get it charged up because it uses static electricity to pick up all of the dust and get it out of your house. Here's my dust, it's flour, so it's actually a little heavier than actual dust, but we're just gonna use it for the demo. Hopefully you can see that. Well, that's probably okay. Okay, so I'm going to charge up my dusting mitt. And I'm going to use it to pick up the dust. You can see there's a little bit on there and none on the table. So then, okay, so I've got all this dust on my mitt. Now what do? You take our rubber brush and you brush it off either into the garbage or outside. Some people take these outside and beat them on their railing to get rid of all the dust. But you just get rid of the dust, and you can do it like this, into the garbage can or outside, and then you're good to go for another. So if you use up this side, you can also just switch hands and dust with this hand on the other side. So you've got lots of options. Get rid of that dust, get it out. It's wonderful. These are wonderful. They're awesome to use. Okay, so we've got EnviroCloth, window cloth, dusting mitt so far. Okay, so now let's talk about, I didn't get it out, the laundry detergent and a little bit of how you care for this microfiber. So there are 4 different laundry detergents. There's strips, there's liquid, there's 2 powders, there's Ultra Power Plus and there's Ultrazyme. They are all wonderful. It just kind of depends on your specific needs. So go and check them out and read about what each one does best and use them accordingly. So the Ultra Power Plus, I will tell you, comes with a scoop this size. And I use this size scoop, which this is from our dishwasher detergent. I use this much when I am doing a large load of laundry, which I have cows and dogs, so my laundry is disgusting in farm and ranch. So I have a lot of terrible laundry with hard water, and this works awesome. The other laundry detergents work awesome too. So you, like I said, you just need to look at them to see which one is best for you. The microfiber, I just want to give you a couple of things about that. So don't use fabric softener and don't use dryer sheets when you are washing this. So if you currently use dryer sheets, just air dry your Norwex microfiber, because your dryer is coated with wax and all the chemicals that are in dryer sheets. And so you want to just get that off of there. Don't use dryer sheets. They're really bad for you. They coat your clothes in chemicals. So anyway, make sure you don't use fabric softener either in the washer, because it will just gunk everything up. It'll just get into all of, you saw how good this picks stuff up. And so you don't want that gunking that up, and it's going to make it so that your microfiber doesn't work as well, and you're going to have to keep washing it more and more often, and you're just going to keep coating it with more stuff, and it's going to not work very well. So you want to use a very, very free and clear laundry detergent, which all of Norwex's are, obviously, and these are the best ones to use. So just make sure you're very cognizant of how you are washing it. And you can put it in the dryer if you don't use dryer sheets, and if your dryer has never seen dryer sheets. But if you wash some of your clothes with dryer sheets, then just air dry this and it will be fine. Oh, and if you want to make sure that this doesn't get a whole bunch of lint on it, don't dry it with linty stuff, because as you saw, it picks up stuff really well and it's going to hold on to that lint. So those are my tips for laundering your microfiber. So now let's talk about elbow grease in a jar. So EnviroCloth, E for everything. You want to use this to clean everything. You want to use this when you're trying to clean something, because it's going to work really well most of the time, but sometimes there's going to be something that needs a little bit of extra effort, and so that's where the cleaning paste will come in. And I'm going to get my cleaning paste out of this, because this is the cute little thing that they send you when you become a consultant, so you can take it and use it for demonstrations, but it actually comes in a container that is this big. So and it's not actually a paste. It's like you would think of a paste that is like toothpaste consistency. This is more of a powder, and it just becomes a paste when you use your damp EnviroCloth with it. So, ooh, crusting everywhere. Okay, so you're just going to take your damp EnviroCloth. Well, first you're going to take your damp EnviroCloth and try to clean off whatever it is that's on your surface. So if your kids are decorating the walls or decorating whatever it is, okay, so you can see that eventually I may actually be able to get this off. It's starting to fade a little bit, but it's going to be a really long time till that comes off. So now I'm just going to get some. I just did a couple swipes of the cleaning paste, and now you can see that this big smiley face right here is coming right off. See? Doing so good, okay? And if you need a little more cleaning paste, you can just grab it. These are such nice drawings. I don't want to get rid of all of them, but I will at least get rid of this big one that I'm trying to work on here. Okay, so the cleaning paste, it just really makes things, I use this on my ceramic stovetop all the time for burnt on things that are on there that you can't just get off with your regular kitchen cloth or whatever. Okay, so you can see that that is gone, and some of the things around it are gone too because I overlapped, but the cleaning paste is amazing. So these 5 things that I've talked about come in a set. So, and you can pick whichever laundry detergent you want, because there's, like I said, there's 4 different ones. So there's EnviroCloth, window cloth, dusting mitt, cleaning paste, and one of the laundry detergents. So that is a really, really, really great way to start and get almost all of the chemicals out of your house that you currently have. One more thing that I'm going to talk about is the mop, because the mop is excellent. You use it with just water also. And it also is a broom. So it's a broom / mop, but it comes as a system, and it can come with the rubber brush. I highly recommend getting the rubber brush. So let me grab it really quick. So this is the mop. You can see it has a handle, has a mop head, and it has a mop pad. So you get a dry pad and a wet pad when you order the mop set. And you can see that this handle is too short right now, so you just twist and lift. You want it to be about between nose and mouth, and then you twist it and it's set. And then you just, like right now I have a dry pad on it, so I would sweep around and you would get something on there, and you would just use your rubber brush to brush it off into the garbage or outside or however it is that you're doing it. And then when you are done with the dry sweeping part, take this off. Clearly I didn't rubber brush it off enough. And it's just got this like hard Velcro side. And this is the small mop. There is also a regular superior mop, and there's also an extra large mop that we actually use a lot because we have all hard floors in our house. So if you have a lot of hard floors, I would recommend the superior mop, or I would recommend the extra large mop. If you have mostly carpet and a few, I would use the small. Some people order a mini just to have like in their upstairs bathroom or to use for their camper. There's all kinds of options. So here is what the wet mop pad looks like, and you can see it also has the ring to hang it to dry. And so normally I just throw it on the floor and then step on it, but I'll just show you like this really quick. Just put that on until you wet it down first, and then put it onto your mop, which I just did this last night because my dog threw up on the floor. And then you just mop it up, and then you take it to the sink and rinse it out when it gets full, and you can put it back on and keep going. So you don't even have to use any of those horrible chemicals on your floor that you are then stepping or walking around in your bare feet. Your dogs are walking around on it, all that, your kids, all that kind of stuff. So then you've just got nice, clean floors. By the way, clean smells like nothing. So if you're just using water and cloth, you will definitely have a clean smell in your house. Okay, so that was a really quick and dirty, clean introduction to Norwex. So if you have questions, please comment or message me. If you are interested in checking out what is available, here is my website so that you can check it out and browse. And thank you for watching this so that you could learn a little bit more about Norwex and have a lovely evening. And I'm not sure how to stop this, so we'll see what happens.